Hello. I hadn't been on the server in a few years, but then I stumbled upon it in my server list. When I logged on, I saw nobody online, like 0 people were in the city. You're the only person I could remember from back then, so I was wondering if you knew what happened. VindexCraft no longer exists.
Well, that doesn't really make any sense. I'm still able to join the server, but it's definitely dead. This isn't exactly crazy though, as Minecraft servers die for all sorts of reasons. Players grow up, owners move on, servers get hacked, all very normal explanations. It is a bit odd that there's everything you would expect to see from a city that's alive, but there's no one here. I decided to take a closer look, and I can assure you that what happened to VindexCraft, this was not like your typical Minecraft server. And I know because I was once a player on this server.
And it all begins when I first joined the server.
Before I began this investigation, I needed to organize my thoughts, so I made a note of the 2 places that always had activity. The first place to start trying to find evidence would be with the government, as it was the only entity that would fall apart without players. At least, that's what I would have thought. When I spawned in, I looked up the White House property and got its coordinates. As I walked up, I was met with all of these government-looking buildings. The White House, the Congress building, and down there is the courthouse. From this view, we can infer that the government works much like the United States, but that's about it. It is odd that everything is clean and well kept. I wouldn't expect that from an abandoned server, but otherwise this place is very normal. I decided to check the property ownership of the White House, and it came back as Sir Penguin, who I had never heard of before. I walked a little further down the street and went inside the Congress building. I found a press room, some offices, and a large open gathering space, but none of this really helped me figure out what happened to the people who lived in the city. At this point, I was starting to doubt whether I would find any clues as to what happened to Vindex. Everything seemed pretty normal. But it was when I walked outside the Congress building that suddenly, this happened. What the? As I looked down the street for just a moment, something was standing on top of the courthouse. I looked around, there doesn't seem to be a way to get in, so I'm not sure what to make of this. It was some sort of player-like figure, but there's nobody online. The server does have a custom texture pack, so I guess it could have been a visual glitch, but if it wasn't, who did I see? I haven't found any sort of clues, and that sighting just weirded me out, so I needed to dig a little deeper. I already checked out the Congress building, and didn't find much there, but there was one building across the street I didn't pay much attention to. Vindex Nation Department of Treasury building. Some of the buildings have signs out front that say who it was built by or what the building is, things like that, nothing out of the ordinary. There wasn't a whole lot inside, and a lot of the doors were locked, but that's when I realized I missed something. Near the front door, one of the signs actually had a Discord link. After typing that link in, I was brought to the government Discord server where I found a complete list of all the cabinet members. If I'm gonna figure out what happened here, this Discord might be my best shot.
Hi, I saw that you are the current Secretary of State. I'm trying to get in touch with a current Vindex government member for a quick question. Are you available?
Yes.
Would you be able to tell me what happened that led to the server to its current state? I want to know what the government's take is on what happened to Vindex.
Well, there's a lot I can't speak about because of confidentiality. Without explicitly mentioning names, I will say some issues relate to previous administrations that had corruption. But to be honest, the government wasn't the primary issue. Corruption wasn't the biggest issue. The problem was money. If you think about it, that is not really surprising. In Vindex, anything you could want requires money. This makes me question how good of a lead this might be, and I can't help but feel like something more strange is going on, but I decided it was worth checking out since it aligned with the second place I wanted to go, the bank. When I played, a lot of players hung out here because of the constant criminal activity. As expected, the area was completely deserted, but there was something that was immediately odd. Outside, there were a few shops that can be purchased by players. This isn't what's strange though. I mean, there are shops all over the server. I didn't think much of them either until this happened. I bought something. This might look like a normal potion, which it isn't, it's a cure for a disease, but that's not what I'm interested in. The important part that matters is that I bought it. The only way I could have bought this potion from this shop is if a player stocked this chest recently. But this could be a stretch. There's plenty of explanations for why this chest might be stocked. It could just be that it was stocked right before the server died. I decided I needed to go ahead and keep looking around and began walking down the street away from the bank. All of these houses are very large and expensive, but other than that, there was nothing here that would really help me understand what money problems the government official was describing. I wanted to see if there was any record of prices or the economy, so I checked the server's wiki. Nothing. Apparently, I'm going to need to find some sort of in-game record. The only place that I can think of that might have one is somewhere we actually already saw, the Treasury building. As I arrived at the Treasury building, everything was just as I had last seen. Inside there was a receptionist desk, a few rooms, and then a meeting room upstairs. All of this is very standard stuff, nothing that looks particularly interesting. I started to wonder if this was going to be a dead end, but then this happened. I found an open door. This is strange because this door leads to a restricted government area. These doors aren't just left open. Has someone been here recently? Down here, things get more interesting. To the left, there's a shooting range, a room with locked doors titled Evidence Lockup, and then a bunch of cubicles. I started checking some stuff in the chest, but of course I found nothing other than some trash. All of the cubicles are vacant, and they haven't been used in a long time, so obviously there would be nothing here. I look around some more and find meeting rooms, the bathroom, and that's it. Or at least that's what I thought. The door to this area was wide open, the chest had trash from players that used them, and this entire area was well kept. That's not even mentioning the anomaly we saw on the roof of the courthouse. Something wasn't adding up here. I started checking out the cubicles again, and that's when I found it. A book. I didn't expect much from it, but as I began reading, a picture became clear.
The Finnish economy has become increasingly unstable due to severe discrepancies in currency origin and distribution.
This seems to be a log of a research project conducted by the Department of the Treasury. Back when I was active on the server, there were many rumors that people obtained their money in nefarious ways. There were even a few that got banned or their bank account balances were wiped because they obtained money by breaking server rules. This document is heavy on economic theory, so some of it is difficult to interpret, but the last page is what's really interesting. The author left a note saying that they were going to finish the rest of the report on a Google Doc that they linked. I took the link and pasted it into Google, opened the Google Doc, but that's when I discovered something that completely altered my investigation.
This document has been archived and redacted in correspondence with the Vindex Recovery Act. Level 5 clearance is required for any and all personnel requesting access to this document. Reading this document without proper verification can result in fines, imprisonment, and confiscation of the privileges given to you by your birthright.
This is extremely ominous, but it doesn't just end there. Further in the document, it features a lot of normal disclaimers about copyright and legal proceedings, but then it starts describing some issues of national security, exemption of citizen rights, and even mentions redacted names, with all of this supposedly being conducted by the Vindex Intelligence Agency. What does any of this even mean? This looks like some sort of secret agency similar to the US CIA. I didn't even know Vindex had this sort of department. Did the government create the VIA to cover something up? What is their purposes? Is there any correlation between this and the figure we saw earlier?
I have to find out.
Okay, at this point we don't have a lot of clues to go on. There has to be something that I missed in this document that can give us a lead. I thought maybe there would be a hidden code or another link, but I couldn't find anything in the text. I looked at the heading of the document, and the only thing that seemed strange was this string. I decided I would go ahead and see if it was some type of encryption, but it wasn't. When placing it into a decoder, we get another random looking string, so that doesn't help much. Wait, no, it does. If we attach it to the end of a Google Drive link, we get access to a folder where the real mystery begins. Opening the video named Target Number 1, we see a player standing inside what looks like their apartment. Everything here seems normal except for the sign right there. Golden apples for mobsters and allies. The word mobsters is the key here, but I guess it's not exactly odd. Criminals have been around since the beginning of the server, so it's not surprising to see them mentioned. As we watch further into the video, something happens.
Armed VPD, let us in.
The police department seemed to be outside this player's door, but we don't know why. The player immediately pulls out a weapon and takes cover behind what looks to be a rifle hole. After a moment, the cop gives a final warning and our player types in chat, "Try me." The cop opens the door and... When the player typed in chat, we saw that the job that they had was Godfather. This is the leading position of the mobster criminal organization, but that's not what is weird. What I don't understand is why is this video in a secret agency's folder? The video is titled Evidence 1, so it could be for some type of court case, but that seems like a stretch. A secret government program wouldn't be prosecuting a criminal, but these videos don't give us a lot more information to go on, so we're just gonna have to move on to the second file. The purpose of this document is to secure investigative research on the following criminal organizations and the reasoning for their development. This document appears to be created by the VIA, but now we learn something interesting. Why are they investigating criminal organizations? In the section labeled Criminal Incentive, there are familiar terms about economic pressure and monetary benefits from affiliation throughout this section. It would seem like they're determining what leads players to be criminals, but what I still don't understand is why. There are already cops and detectives, so why would a top-secret government agency be investigating something like this, and how does that relate to what happened to Vindex? In the final section labeled Critical Locations, there is a set of coordinates. Following those coordinates on the server, we are led here. The original mobster's headquarters. This building is familiar because I remember it when I played. It's just down the road from the original police station, but that's about it. It says here that the police station was declared an artifact, and only a few blocks away is a much larger and extravagant station. I saw this before, but I just assumed that it was normal for the buildings to get retired and revamped. Now I am wondering if there is a different story. A story that was much larger and more unprecedented than I would have expected. I wanted to investigate this idea further, so I went exploring what areas I could find of police stations. Several stations have been decommissioned, and the current main police station didn't have anything of value. I was struggling to find any sort of evidence or history regarding the police department. There's also something I couldn't get out of the back of my mind. We still don't know what we saw on top of the courthouse earlier, and the motives of the VIA are still unknown. I'm starting to question, what if something is watching me? When servers are abandoned, things get griefed or stuff decays, but here it feels like something is maintaining everything. I've felt this way a few times during this investigation, but I haven't found anything to look into. Maybe I'm just overthinking it.
I'm home again.
I kept exploring and eventually found the DOJ building in Adders. Inside there was a small museum under construction. This was interesting in itself, but then I saw a familiar sign. Another Discord link was in front of me, and so I typed it in and was brought to the National Archives and Record Administration Discord. This seems to be a government-ran program that is used to store images and videos from the server's history. Using this, I found something that might explain everything we have seen so far. 2 images from 5 years ago showcasing a dominant amount of criminal players. Like I mentioned before, criminals have been around for a while. This amount of criminals would definitely be an issue for the country, but then I saw a familiar name, Clark Newman. After looking up what properties he owned, I found this building that documented all major criminal activity as it was developed. Clark Newman was a player that led the gangsters for a period of time and must have commissioned this building to memorialize the greatest criminals and their organizations. The other interesting thing that I found is that the mob was established in 2018, the same time gangsters became an official organization. Earlier we saw that the book was dated February of 2020, and the document was dated in July of 2020, 2 years after the establishment of mobsters and gangsters. This makes the economic report we saw earlier make a lot more sense. Criminals had all sorts of methods to make money, from bank robberies, gas station robberies, drugs, and even taking hostages for ransom, to name a few. If there was a serious economic burden on new players, many of them would probably resort to crime. Players would have inevitably discovered that working as a group was a better method to make money because they had to help fend off the police, and that might explain why that photo had a huge group of criminals online. This might also be why a secret intelligence agency would investigate these same players. But I still really can't connect the dots between criminals and the VIA. If this agency is investigating criminals, there must be a connection to the Department of Justice, but we still don't really know much about the VIA and what their purpose was. The only way we will figure it out is by moving on to the third file in the drive. This PDF contains a few mysterious images. This photo is from 2018, the same time as the criminals were growing their influence. The second image appears to be a snapshot of a spreadsheet listing 4 main departments within law enforcement: police, detectives, SWAT, and DEA. The third image in this document was a DEA flyer. The phrase, "keep your streets clean of drugs" and "use canine dogs to help sniff out drugs" are in the image. Based on the first 3 images, this document seems to be some sort of log about law enforcement. I didn't really understand how this had anything to do with the other 2 files on the drive, but then I looked at the 4th image.
I've tried everything. The DOJ doubled in size, we've got more agents than ever, and crime's still getting worse. It's like the city's rotting faster than we can patch it. Every time we try to arrest someone, 2 more criminals show up and liberate them. I can't keep doing this. The press, the pressure, the constant failure, I'm stepping down. This job demands more than I can give.
To some people, all of this may seem pretty standard. It's impressive that these sorts of mechanics are in a Minecraft server, but none of this seems beyond the realm of possibility. But their opinion might change after viewing the final image in this document.
The mobsters have grown in influence despite the formally reported operations. Deputy Director has greenlit the use of internal techniques to discourage the further development of this mass. President agrees that if this issue is left unchecked, the nation will certainly fall as the citizens cease all activity due to this never-ending conflict. Proof of action has been submitted in compliance with the director's orders.
That is the same logo seen in the previous VIA document, so it's pretty clear what entity wrote this unsettling message. Based on this message, apparently the mobsters had grown quite a bit to the point where they were concerned with player activity. There's also something that is very peculiar. At the bottom of this screenshot, there's a very abnormal string of letters and numbers. After looking at it for a while, I realized that the string could be attached to the end of a YouTube URL. The link brings up this video, which is extremely disturbing. I don't even know what to say. If we take a second look at the screenshot, we can gather a little bit more context. This is speculation, but I'm guessing the suited player is the agent who wrote the document. The player in the chair must have been a mobster they were describing. Regardless of what crimes that man had committed, he still deserved a fair trial. I don't even know what to make of this. One of the last lines in the screenshot said, "The nation will certainly fall as the citizens cease all activity due to this never-ending conflict." I think I understand what this is referring to. As we have reviewed the contents associated with this drive, we have seen two distinct sides: criminals and law enforcement. From that video, my best guess is that the VIA was established to carry out secret operations for national security, including domestic threats from criminal leaders. Apparently, the actions in that video were permitted by the VIA director in response to the president's concerns that players would stop playing because of this cops and criminals dynamic. Remember, this server was never big. It capped out around 150 players, so a problem would have arose when one side started winning. For the losing side, the game would become stale and defeating, so one by one, they would quit the server. Ultimately, I don't really know if this is what happened. I've tried my best to find other evidence, but I can't seem to find anything concrete, so my best conclusion is that one side just stopped showing up and the other didn't win. Instead, the server just emptied. So, is that it? Is that where this story of an entire world just ends?
Hello. We have reason to believe that you have been conducting an investigation into Vindex Nation based on numerous sources. We have been conducting our own investigation, and after clearing your name, we are requesting your attendance to a formal interview with the director. Head to spawn, get in your car, and drive to these coordinates if you are in compliance. Thank you.
Rivers run dry, dust spreads in the air. 2 dark days, do you have a tear to spare? Make a promise, the world awaits. It's heavy just breathing through this debate. Start come on, start a riot. When they love you too much, know it's fake, fake, or even hate. Don't be scared if the weight paralyzes you, stayed at the gate. No, it's a lot to take in, it's designed to know when, don't wait. Don't be scared when the weight paralyzes you, stayed at the gate.
Hey,
Oh, hello?
are you Colton?
Yeah.
Alright, the reason I brought you here is to ask, like, what are you doing at the government buildings? Have you just been, like, snooping around searching, and for what?
I'm just like looking into what happened to Vindex. Like, why does it barely exist now? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, alright. I mean, I guess that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Wait, come back. I have questions.
What's up?
What is this? Like, what is VIA?
We deal with national security threats. And back in the height of the server, I mean, it used to be top criminal leaders.
Then, like, why were you guys following me?
Well, I mean, you were being suspicious. I mean, snooping around government buildings, searching around. But, I mean, you've proven yourself to not be all that big of a threat, so, I mean, you're good.
Okay, but then why did you guys execute that guy in the video?
That's classified. But I do have a message for you.
Okay. Do I read it now, or?
Well, read it once you're outside.
Hello, Colton. The director has explained to me your keen interest in the server as of recently. I would like to inform you that the server is in fact not dead. Player count has certainly dwindled, but a few of us are still around trying to keep it together. I would like to formally offer you a government position within the Department of the Treasury. As Secretary of the Treasury, you too can help with this endeavor. However, I should mention that this offer comes with a few conditions. Do not release the footage that you found regarding the VIA. That information is top secret, and while we believe that you are a trustworthy man, we must ensure the secrecy within our nation. If you post that video, consequences will follow.
Hey,